Good evening. Today in this segment, I'm going to talk about a miraculous hormone called oxytocin. Oxytocin. In the hours before birth, your mother, and possibly you as well, secreted the pituitary hormone called oxytocin. Oxytocin means in Greek, quick birth. That stimulated contractions in your mother's uterus and started the delivery process. Doctors sometimes use a synthetic version of this hormone called Pitocin to induce or speed up labor. Oxytocin has a number of other important functions at birth, including stopping post-birth bleeding and starting milk production in the mother's breast. Controlled studies of oxytocin administration to healthy human subjects have documented its amnesic properties. It causes people to forget things. Oxytocin then may be the biological equivalent of Lethe, the underworld river of Greek mythology that caused all who drank of its waters to forget their former lives. It could be the chemical correlate of the angel Lila coming up to the fetus in striking its upper lips. Perhaps those who receive an adequate supply of oxytocin at birth quickly forget their pre-birth experiences, the better to attend to the demands of the life ahead. These individuals may grow up to become the adopters of society, content to let the past go and happy to move ahead into the challenges of the present and the future. Research indicates that early exposure to greater levels of oxytocin may be related to higher levels of interpersonal ability in later life, suggesting an improved ability to adapt to the social world. On the other hand, it's also possible that those who didn't receive as large a dose of oxytocin at birth, those whom the angel of destiny didn't touch, grow up to become the rememberers of society. They are the children and adults who can't stop thinking about where they came from and can't get it out of their minds that there is something deeper in them and in life that demands recognition. This prenatal self may still be calling to them, echoing the sentiments of the American poet Walt Whitman, who wrote, "Before I was born out of my mother, generations guided me. My embryo has never been torpedoed, nothing could overlay it. For it, the nebula, cohered to an orb, the long slow strata piled to rest it on." Everyone has some combination of the adapter and the rememberer in them. The adapter in us seeks to acquire skills that teach about how the world works and seeks to develop competence in order to move up the ladder of success and face the challenges of the future. The rememberer in us reads poetry, views art that stirs the soul, grapples with the philosophical questions, and struggles in therapy to recover a lost self. These two activities, adapting and remembering, seem to have been at the heart of human activity since the beginning of recorded time. For thousands of years, Society is engaged in adaptive tasks, hunting, gathering, building shelters, and crafting tools to ensure their physical survival. But they also devoted a great deal of attention to activities designed to help them remember who they were as people by engaging in dance, play, song, storytelling, religious rituals, and others non adaptive activities. While everybody possesses a mixture of the adapter and the rememberer, many people show more of one quality than of the other. Full fledged adopters tend to be practical and sensible, sometimes even ruthless in learning the game of life and leaving the competition behind. Classic examples of adopters include Napoleon, Margaret Thatcher, and Bill Gates. Rememberers, on the other hand, tend to be sensitive and aesthetic as they regard the depths of their own souls and those of others. Famous examples of rememberers include St. Francis of Assisi, Marcel Proust, and Virginia Woolf. Our modern technological culture tends to honor the adopters more than the rememberers. After all, the super adapter CEOs of society make far more money than the rememberer poets. In other cultures, however, it's the rememberers, the shamans, healers, artists, storytellers, and mystics who receive far more prestige and support from the community than the business and political leaders. So you can examine yourself whether you are an adapter or a rememberer. So both of them are good, and that is a blessing. So it all depends on the hormone which your mother secreted when you were born decides whether you are an adapter or a rememberer. Oxytocin is the greatest hormone for humanity, and I hope all mothers can produce more oxytocin so that their kids can grow up in healthy environment. Goodbye.